Hello again, everybody. Welcome to my latest video. I hope everybody's doing well in these trying times. I hate to say, are you having a wonderful day? It's not likely that many of us are. On today's video, I'm going to open up a birthday gift that I got this week. The Zoom H4n Pro. And this particular device was something I had on a list of possible things I wanted. And it's to really help me if I decide to go live streaming sometime in the near future. I've not decided if or when, but I think that it's pretty likely that it will happen at some point. So what I'm going to do is open this up and go over it, show you what came in it. I have not opened it up at all yet, completely sealed up, and we'll see what it has. And I already read the manual. I actually have it on my computer right here in front of me, and I've been going through some of the information on it and how to configure it. So in the first part of this, I'm going to open the box up, standard unboxing. The second part will be going over some of the configuration options and really what is it for. What it really lets you do is it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the types of microphones that you have when you're recording something like a video, or if you were into making digital music just in general. I don't have any electric guitars or anything like that, although that may have got me thinking in that direction. If you get something though out of this video that you find useful or helpful in any way, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel, or at least consider it. It would really be helpful. Let me rearrange this and open this up, and I'll tell you some of the things that I've expected from it and what we actually get in the box. Okay, here you go. If we come in here, we open this up. Oh, it's inside of a little plastic case. I'll probably buy the real cushioned case that I saw being sold in Amazon. Here's the unit. Oh, they give me a set of batteries. I thought I was going to have to go get some. Anything else in this box? I don't think so, but... Oh, it's got all sorts of paperwork here. What do we got here? Looks like some warnings. Bunch of warning sheets. Downloads. And then there's the manual. I'm actually looking online and the English manual. Like I said, I have that up on a PDF right now. Freely available from the Zoom site. Talks about everything that's included. Just the unit, the batteries, and the manual. They didn't even show a plastic case here. Let's see if we can get this up and running. It looks like there might be a battery compartment here. I will order the AC charger for this too, or AC power supply. I don't think it charges anything. Right off the bat, it's got a tripod or camera mount, depending on what accessories you put on it, right? Let's see if we turn this on. If we look in the side here, are the controls. We have the headphone or line out connector. There's a remote that I might get. It cost about $22 on Amazon. I did look that up. It's got a regular mini USB, and they didn't give the cable, so I saw it in the manual, so I went ahead and dug out some of my cables for USB, and sure enough, I got a couple of them here. Let me see, is this the right one? Looks like that might be it. Let's see, does that fit in there? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that'll serve the purposes of a couple of things I want to use it for. This is the power on switch and the hold switch. This is the volume control. I've got two different volume controls. There's the volume for what's coming out of the headset, which I believe that's what that is. And there's the volume that has to do with what's going in, so the input levels. So I believe that's controlled by the other side. So there's two separate ones. Let me try powering this guy on and see what we get for the first time. There we go, Zoom. There's no SD card. Another thing not included, so I dug out one of the ones that I had in my cabinet that I wasn't using, a 32 gig. That's the maximum that it could hold according to the manual. So what I will do is I will turn it off again. Okay, let's look at where the SD card goes. I believe it's in here. Take the SD card out. Hopefully it's the right type. I really didn't check. It seems to lock in place. Let's try powering this thing on again. It's a momentary switch, so you just throw it in one section here. It's loading. There we go. And did it see the SD card? Yes, it did. It says we have quite a bit of time on it. It says we have 50 hours and 13 minutes of actual recording time. Push this button to light it up. You got to push this little wheel button here to do the mode and the menus, so it also lights it back up again. Okay, with that, let me get ready to show you what the menus are. I'm going to change the setup here, maybe put it on a small tripod so we can do that. Okay, let me get through some preliminary setup on this first of all. There's a little button here on this side here that says menu to it, and there's a little wheel here. scroll wheel. So if I push the menu button, it should go into the menu. And then I want to pick probably system. And what you do is once you get to the selection that you want, like that, you push on the little wheel. And the first choice there is date and time. That's the selection I want. So I'm going to push the wheel again. And now, since I'm already selected on the year, I'm going to go to the year that I want to go to, which is 20. So once I got that, I push the button again. Now I can go to the month, and I'll push the button again. I'm pushing the little wheel when I do this. I could actually change all of these different things. What type of batteries do I have? Alkali, whatever. Okay, that's good for now. Now I put the SD card in here. It came out of a camera, and the instructions recommend, even if it doesn't prompt you, you should go ahead and format the card. So I think it's the main menu here, SD card. There it is, the very next thing. Click on that, and I want to format the SD card. Am I sure? I'll scroll up to yes. Click on that, and now it's formatting the SD card for me. Oh, format is complete. It's now loading. So it loaded in from the SD card, and as I said before, it's got 50 hours, 14 minutes, and 1 second of recording time. Let's do a sample recording. It currently is set for the microphone. I could change it if I had put in XLR devices, whether they're microphones or whatever. If I had put them into the bottom connectors here, which is what's down here, the XLR connectors, there's 2 of them, a left and a right. Then I could pick those as 1 and 2. I could actually pick, right now it turned on both of them. I don't want those. I'm going to go back to the mic. You see the little mic there? I'm going to go back to the mic. The mic is this thing that they provide up above. And just to let you know, this mic is set for right now, there's a little 90 on both of them. That means it's picking up a pattern that's like a cone at 90 degrees. That's what it's doing right now. I can change these by turning these little things here, and I can go all the way up to 120 degrees. It's always good to match them to the same, whatever you choose. They only have 90 and 100 written on it, but you can pick any gradient in between. So at 90 degrees, it would be an angle sort of like that, and at 120 degrees, it would be an angle sort of like that, in terms of what it picks up in front of the mic. These 2 mics crossed over, so we get the best side and center pickup. So if you were to have these so they were pointed out, you would not pick up the center too well, but they've designed it, and you can't move their orientation. Their angle is fixed. All you can change is how wide the pickup is. Just to go over some of the features that this thing has, it has the XY, that's what that's called, the XY configuration of the stereo mics. That's what that pattern is when they cross over each other like that. And it's adjustable, as I showed, either between 90 to 120 degrees. It has a built-in speaker down on the bottom, back behind the mount for this tripod, but it is underneath there. It's not a high quality one, but this is something to just check to make sure it recorded something. If you were using this to do a recording in the field, if you were interviewing somebody or something similar to that. It has a SD card that can not only play back here, but if I plug the USB cable in to this thing that I showed before, the USB cable, right, has to be the right size as well, right? So if I plug that in, then it will allow me to transfer to the PC. This would look like any USB type device with a memory card on it. But I also, and this is the main reason I wanted this can also be used for purposes of USB pass-through. So if I take an analog mic, whether it's one of the ones that is an XLR mic that go into here, or I could put an analog mic. There's a connector on the back side of this mic. You can actually replace these with another mic, a stereo microphone. There's a little connector here for it, a standard 3.5 millimeter connector to it. Then I could use any mic that I want. That's a stereo mic, whether it's a handheld one or a lapel mic or whatever I want to do. And it can also do in multiple configurations, as I'll describe in a moment. When you connect up this to your computer and you set it in a mode that is for USB audio interface mode. When you have that mode on, which I'll show this on the screen here, a page from the manual at this point, you'll see what I'm talking about. Then it will pass through whatever mics are connected to this directly to and digitize it. So it'll pass it through to whatever the USB is connected to, which is normally a computer. I don't have an XLR mic, but I'm planning on getting one. And in a future video, I may show that on this device. And I'll describe that in a little bit. It also has 4 channels to it. There are actually 4 channels built into this. Depending on which mode you put it in will depend on which channels you can record. So for example, if I put it in regular stereo mode, which is what it's in now, you only see 2 of the channels there listed, L and R. You just only see L and R right there now. Standard stereo, which is what these mics are, and of course any mic that I connected up to the connector in the back. And if I connect the mic to the back connector here, then it disables these mics. Or I can put it in what's called 4-channel quad channel mode, where you can record 2 dual channel type microphones. For example, you can record a stereo mic here or connect it to the back, and then the 2 XLRs with a stereo device connected to them, which would require 2 connectors to this. So it would then wind up doing 4 channels, 1 for each side of the stereo microphone, left and right, and then 1 for the left and right, or number 1 and 2 of the XLR. So that's in 4-channel mode. It can record all that simultaneously. And then finally, there's what's called a multi-channel recording mode, MTR. And with that, you can do a combination of stereo and mono, and you can even do it separately. You can record each of 4 different channels separately. You can have a mono coming in on 1 channel and a stereo on 2 of the channels, and then even have another mono on the last channel, and you can do them separately and then have the device blend them into one 4-channel audio recording. So that's a key feature of this. This is one of the features I have no plans for using, but you never know. I may decide to put some nice elaborate background music in it or something at some point. So those are the key features that I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to get into too much in terms of how I'm going to use it right now. I will show in a future video, as I use this, I will show that I am using it, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, what I'm putting up on the screen right now is a diagram of all the various connections to this Zoom H4n. As you can see, it has quite a few things that can connect it to it. The manual is actually quite thorough. I'll show you the manual here as well, and maybe flip through it a little bit. Okay, here's the actual user manual. As you can see, PDF is available. You can download it pretty easily from the Zoom website. Very thorough. It's got, it looks like almost 160 pages. And it shows you some of the basic configurations that you can set it up to. The basic starting steps. Here's the configuration of the different plugs on the device that you can connect to. So it's a very good, thorough manual. But let me go ahead and do a sample recording and see what happens here. We'll see if we can listen to it. Okay, let me change the backlight on this. It's going off a little too quickly. Let me see what the choices are. So if I go into the menu, system is what I want. I want to pick backlight. Oh, it's got either on, off, 15 or 30. I'm going to put it at 30 seconds. I could put it on, which means it will probably stay on forever. Let me just leave it at that. I want to do a little test. So what I'm going to do here is do a recording using these mics here and see how that sounds. So if I go ahead and just hit the record button, it's now picking up the microphone here. So if I get relatively close to it, and I'll make sure my lapel mic can still hear me as well, then it's actually picking up, both of them. One mic is picking me up better than the other, the right, which I guess is this one here. It does not record though with a blinking light. That means it's in sort of a pending mode for record. To record, I gotta actually, believe it or not, I gotta hit the play. So now it's actually recording, and I have it listening in. Of course, my lapel mic is picking up, and I'm going to transfer this to the computer, this recording, and then we're going to see if that works out properly or not in terms of being any quality. And let me stop it here, though, and see what we got. This is recording number 1. So now it's stopped. Now let me just hit play. Unfortunately, the speaker that's on this is half blocked by the tripod mount that I'm on right now. So we'll see what it sounds like though, even with that. Just hit play. So now it's actually recording, and I have it listening in. Of course, my lapel mic is picking up, and I'm going to transfer this to the computer, this recording, and then we're going to see if that works out properly or not in terms of being, any quality. And let me stop it here though and see what we got. This is recording number 1. So it stopped automatically once it was done. So I'll play back now on the screen here what I transferred from this device over to the computer. So now it's actually recording, and I have it listening in. Of course, my lapel mic is picking up, and I'm going to transfer this to the computer, this recording, and then we're going to see if that works out properly or not in terms of being, any quality. And let me stop it here, though, and see what we got. This is recording number 1. But now I want to try something else. I want to try a different kind of test. I have this headset here that I got for Christmas, and I use it all the time when I'm listening to the videos on YouTube. So this headset's a Corsair headset. It is purely analog, so it doesn't have any digital conversion in it at all. So it has the split connector, and it has the green and the pink adapter plugs here. So if I plug this into this device, it should work. So what I do is I'll plug this into, pink one is the mic. That'll go behind this into the connector in the back of those existing microphones. And then this one here is the headset part of it to pick up the sound, or basically the speakers. So this will replace the speakers on the device. So I'll plug that in here. Now I should be able to then hear this record. So what I'll do is I'll put it on and I'll do a recording of this. Let's see, first of all, it's picking up the mic. Do I picking up the mic? No, it's not picking up the mic. I think I have to go into the menus and add the voltage to the condenser part of the mic. See what we got here. It won't let me do it as long as it's recording. So let me stop this, see if it lets me change the menu. Pick input menu, and one of the things on the input menu is the phantom power. Now that's if you had a traditional XLR microphone. They generally need what's called phantom power. It's a voltage between 12 and 48 volts. I don't have one of those, and that would all depend on the specs of that particular microphone as well. Some of those have their own power, a lot of them don't, so they give you that option, but I don't want that one. I want the plug-in power. Now the plug-in power is very interesting. If you look at the mic that I have connected to the camera right now, it has on it a little preamp. So this device here is a preamp that came with the microphone that I'm using on the camera. It has a switch for whether or not you want to put plug-in power or not. Right now I need it for this camera that I'm using, so I have it in the on position. Well, this can turn that on as well. So if I come in here, I can make the plug-in power, but right now by default it's off. I'm going to turn it on. Select that. So now it says plug-in power is on. Now let me try to see if this thing picks up the microphone from this headset or not. So if I hit record now, what do I get? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Not only is it showing up on the scale here, which I can control the volume right here by this amplitude, the input level amplitude. I'll drop that down a little bit, but I can also hear it on the headset. So this thing is feeding back out through the speaker connector, and I can actually hear it. So this is recording number 2. This is from the microphone on my headset here, and I'm also hearing it, and I'll go ahead next and play that recording on the screen here. But I didn't record it yet. So now I got to hit the play in order to record it. So now it's recording. So right now I am recording from the microphone on the headset, and I'm hearing it on the headset as well. And I should be able to play this, transfer this over to the computer, and then play it as well. So we'll put that down as recording number 2. Let me stop it. Now the quality wasn't really that good on it in terms of what I heard in the headset, but we'll see what it is after I transfer it to the computer. So now it's recording. So right now I am recording from the microphone on the headset, and I'm hearing it on the headset as well. And I should be able to play this, transfer this over to the computer, and then play it as well. So we'll put that down as recording number 2. Let me stop it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this up to the USB. This is one of the main reasons I wanted this device. I wanted to be able to use it as an audio interface to my computer. So I got this cable. It did not come with it, as I said before. I will plug it in here. And then I'll plug the other end into the computer, and we'll see what happens here. Go into one of my USB 3.0 ports, front panel. I will have to change it to computer interface mode. So if I go into menu, I will now have to pick USB, and I want to pick the interface option, audio IF. Click on that. Now I've got to connect it. So if I do connect, that's the frequency which I could change. That's the default frequency of the audio to digital conversion. So now I just heard my computer beep, and it's picking up my sound here on this. So I can actually change my input level. It still looks kind of high here. Let me change that down a little bit. It jumped back up again, I guess, after it plugged into interface. Let me get the level back down to something that's not overreaching. And now I'm going to open up a recorder on my computer, the regular Windows 10 voice recorder, and I'm going to try recording this information. Now it can't do both at the same time, unfortunately. So I can't record on the Zoom and transfer it to the computer at the same time. It's one or the other. So right now it's transferring and I can't click record. It will not let me do that. If I try to do that, it won't even answer the button. So let me open up the app, and I see on the voice recorder on Windows that it is picking up my voice. So let me record over here and see what we get. Okay, so this is the third recording, and this one is using the USB interface through the Zoom, and it's transferring directly into the computer at this point. And so it should be able to hear this when I play it back. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to play that particular sound back to you. Okay, so this is the third recording, and this one is using the USB interface through the Zoom, and it's transferring directly into the computer at this point. And so it should be able to hear this when I play it back. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to play that particular sound back to you. So with that, let me disconnect this. You have to actually go into the menu and disconnect it now. So if I go into the menu, I have to go down to USB. There it is, disconnect. I got to disconnect it here. Well, let me turn off the plug-in power. Don't need that anymore. Okay, and then I'm going to disconnect the USB. Are you sure? Yes. So now I'm back to where I started. That covers my review of the Zoom H4n digital audio device that allows us to record and also connect into other equipment. In future videos, I'll be using this and showing you how it's being used by me for various functions. I may even be getting an XLR mic soon that I want to try out for possible live streaming. I mean, I do have my Blue Yeti microphone, which is pretty good, but I'd like to try the other one too. I get good reviews in terms of using that sort of device for something like that, especially any talking head parts to any of the live chats that I might do. So hopefully you got something out of this, and if you did, do me a favor and consider subscribing to my channel. My head will pop up here in a moment. Click on it, follow along, and subscribe. It would really be helpful, helping this channel grow. Well, I thank you for watching, and until the next time, take care.